man has gone missing, and in their absence, the world has changed. In many ways, it has become a wide frontier filled with peril and adventure. The dogs of Pugmire seek to uncover the artifacts that man has left behind, protect the weak, and guard against the forces of the unseen.
Hello, wonderful people, and welcome to Weave the Tale. I am Hope, your humble narrator for Pugmire, What Lies Buried. We have a lot to get into today, but first and foremost, you should meet these other amazing storytellers and the good doggos that they are playing. So, let's get down to it. First up, Em, how are you doing?
Doing so well. Happy to be here. Happy playing Hanklin again. Hanklin Foxhound is your average big giant baby who is a big strong boy but terrified of getting hurt. And he's hopeful that he will not get hurt this session as well.
We'll see if we can make those wishes come to pass, but I think there are some things waiting in the wings that may have different desires. But someone who is good at countering those is Oberyn, played by Drakku. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. I'm Drakku, and yes, I am playing Oberyn the Doberman, and he is just probably a little bit nervous, trying to make sure that everybody stays safe.
Good. Safety is key, but someone who seems to just run away from its sweet embrace is Rat Terrier, played by Celeste. How are you doing, friend?
I'm doing all right. I woke up this morning and the god of allergies slapped me in the face, so that's fun. But you know, we're having a good time, and I'm gonna let it not bother me and hopefully not sniffle too much. Hi, I'm Celeste PLS with way too many underscores on Twitter. I'm Celeste Shepherd here on Twitch. I don't Rat Terrier. She's great. I love her. Let's get into it.
That is an entire mood. As Allergia, the great and terrible, has her way with all of us, but someone who is defiant in the eyes of Allergia and defiant to both the size of food versus the size of dog is Daxi Dachshund, played by Alicia. How are you doing, friend?
Oh, hey, that's me. But yeah, I'm Alicia, or Patty. I'm doing okay for Sunday. The work week is right around the corner, but we're doing all right so far. Daxi's ready to, get back to not being on a diet, so it's going to be great times. I and my character's pronouns are she, her.
Well, we are always happy to have Daxi defy the odds and diets. But we need to, since we've been away a bit, probably catch all of us back up into what's going on in the world of Pugmire. So, a quick recap. We have had, through mystical means and a very excitable courier, these good dogs brought together through a mystical missive, brought to the Sawgrass Lodge, where they met with a member of the noble house of Pug, Harrison Pug, and were asked to partake in a quest, one that which, through discussion, was not necessarily the wisest course of action. And so it was decided amongst the group that they should go and seek out the aid of an oracle who is based in the Bog of Bones. This all occurring along the backdrop of the Great Stick Festival, a week-long festival of tournaments, of courtship, of good food, good friends, good times. A week-long festival. So there was participating in the different games going on in the backdrop as our heroes were getting supplied and prepared for this quest into the bog. There were team building exercises put on by possibly our most excitable and eccentric member of the party. But unfortunately, due to circumstances outside control, Marcus could not be with us. We wish you all the best, Marcus. But our good Australian shepherd of just pure macho madness is not with us today. But as they finally got their supplies together, everything was going just right, and just so, the Fae decided to throw a wrench into the works as they had absconded with Daxi and Bubz through magical means. And so Hanklin, Oberyn, and Raven braved the woods, pushed deep, tracking what magic they could, and they found a very peculiar house made of a mix of natural materials and plastic, mind you, in this world, in the world that man has left. Plastic's a currency. And so having walls, shingles, etc., bits of fence made out of plastic would be very much like in our day and age, having shingles made of rubies and doors made of gold. So this place was quite peculiar. And the three of our good doggos went up, and Raven decided to just go into the house. And that had some ramifications, as Raven did make her way in, but Hanklin and Obbs quickly found themselves on ice, as it were. We'll get back to that, folks. Meanwhile, Daxi and Bubz found themselves no longer with the group, but in this peculiar place, hallways darkened by what appeared to be pure darkness, but darkness apparently tastes like raspberry gelatin. And as Daxi broke her fast and her diet, just devouring the obstacles in our way, managed to explore further this strange realm inside this house. All the while, Raven found herself going through weird doors and hallways and ending up in places that there is no logical explanation, such as on top of a slice of pumpkin pie, being incredibly tiny, falling off the sides of such things onto fine china, and seeing a outdoor spread much like something out of Alice in Wonderland. But through the manipulation of these mystical doors, managed to find her way to the kitchen. We'll put a pin in that. As Daxi and Bubz went through this strange realm, there was a lot of spork throwing, spork riding, spork confrontation. I believe there was a sort of spork ox or spocks, or is it sporks? I don't know. That magic was used upon, and this thing didn't so much as die as exploded with great and vigorous force. But everyone managed to survive the exploding sporks and make their way onto a trampoline-like porch and then outside to meet the Fae that transported the two of them for what is being gleaned, as much as one can glean from Fae. They found that this time of year and a momentous quest being undertaken as the perfect time to have a tea party. And they wanted to have the most important of guests. So it obviously had to be members undertaking said quest. This was explained whilst Raven dragged out Hanklin and Oberyn and put them both in front of the oven as they had been frozen solid and put in the walk-in freezer. And so as Hanklin and Oberyn thaw out, and Raven, after a terrible fall and smelling uniquely of whipped cream and pumpkin pie, that is where we come to. We come to this lovely outdoor garden where a large has been set up with all these delicious goodies, confections, things that you would think for high tea. And on one side of the table sits a mesmerized Bubz, I would think, always hungry Daxi. And then on another end is a large anthropomorphic rabbit who is getting into the last of their pumpkin pie. Across is our dog-appearing Fae, and then on another end is a rather sizable anthropomorphic dormouse who enjoying those little tea cakes and just a spot of lemon chamomile. And so that is where we pick up. So Daxi, what are you up to?
I mean, you said there were tea cakes, right?
Oh, there is so much food here. Yes, there are tea cakes.
I feel like it's not a question what Daxi's doing then.
So, by all means, describe to me what has Daxi annexed in their quest for being full.
That's such an aggressive word. Not inaccurate, but aggressive. Yeah, so I imagine Daxi, along with some tea cakes, if there's like a little, I imagine there's like a little 3-tier, finger sandwich thingamabob that's probably about the size of like a big pie pan, but like 3 tiers of that. That's, Daxi's just gone ahead and scooted that her way. And then just as she's like happily munching, just like, oh yeah, hey there, what's your name?
I am Roger T. Rabbitson. Pleasure to meet you. any guest of the Countess is always good to see. And I'm
Gonna be.
William.
Go ahead.
And says the dormouse on the other side.
It was Roger T. Rabbit, was it?
Yes. Rabbitson. Of
Rabbitson.
the Rockbriar Rabbitsons.
Well, it's real nice to meet you. Gonna be honest, don't know who that Countess is, but these sandwiches are good.
The Countess, who has chosen at this moment to appear in the canine form of a beautiful cocker spaniel with rainbow bows tied around their ears, who is sipping upon a dark, rich liquid that may be a passion fruit tea. It may be some other liquid. We don't know right now.
Ooh, ominous.
But we cut to the inside where Raven has stoked the fires of the oven, and Hanklin and Oberyn are coming out of their mystic imprisonment. How are you all doing?
Is this a thing where, like, we're melting from the head down for some unknown reason? So, like, we're at our shoulders, and we're like, whoa, what happened? Or are we all the way thawed out at this point?
At this point, it's very much going. I like where you're going with this, where it's very sort of early Disney cartoon. But at this time, it's like it's more full body as opposed to just like the tops, as the oven is open and its heat just pouring out onto the two of you. So in that very cartoonish way, you've gone from being in large ice blocks to just covered in water and having this bluish tint to you, to now the color returning. And as that color is returning and you're sopping wet, your consciousness returns.
In that case, Oberon, sorry. I read your name as soon as I went to talk about myself. Hanklin is shivering and just turns an accusatory look to Raven and just goes, why?
I didn't do it. I've been the lad. She looks at herself covered in whipped cream and little spots of orange that smell like pumpkin spice.
But Obbs and I are, and he just reaches over and for a hug from Obbs for warmth, are all like this, and look like you had a big dessert.
There was a dessert. I did not eat it. It wasn't me.
Who did this? And why would they do such a thing?
Whoever the wackos are that are running this place. I've been going in and out of doors for like an hour trying to find you guys.
Why are we here again?
Because I found you in the freezer.
Hanklin just
And
turns
I brought you
lost
here to thaw you
eyes
out.
to Oberon, like, what is happening? Why is this happening? Do you have any light to shed on this situation?
And he is like ears tucked down, just full body shaking, because Dobermans, you know, they get cold. And so he's like, I don't really understand why, but did you find Daxi and Bubz, Raven?
No, I haven't seen them. I think I saw the remains of what might have been there doing earlier, but I think this place is some sort of like you go in one door and you come out one way, and somebody else can go in the same door and come out somewhere else, kind of thing. Maybe. I don't know, man. I just want to get us out of here. I never should have barged in.
And from that moment, we see that from the window near the stove, but not directly in eye line with our good dogs, that we can see back out onto this wonderful late fall autumnal tea party. Um, as Daxi and Bubz have their backs to the window, and the Countess is just looking in, and somehow from her vantage point can see everything that's happening inside, and just smiles broadly. Um, Ears sort of ever so slightly perked up, but still floppy, and drinking. Uh, Finally finishing whatever that dark red liquid was, setting it daintily upon a plate, and then just putting her paws together ever so. I believe our other guests have finally thawed out. I think it's time that we all talk. And she just sort of whisks a finger, and in one moment, Hanklin, Oberyn, Raven, you are in the kitchen, two of you just starting to get warm. One of you just coated in whipped cream, pumpkin spice, and an ever present pain from falling from great heights.
And don't forget the misery.
And the misery and terror of nearly being consumed by a giant rabbit. And all at once, from that moment, you just sort of blink out of existence, and then blink to where you're now all sat alongside that one side of the table that Daxi is on. But surprisingly enough, Bubz is no longer seated there. And so it is now the four of you on one side of the table. You're dry. You're no longer sticky, Raven. You are clean, but still have a scent about you of pumpkin spice. Hanklin, Oberyn, you are dry. Still cold, warming up, but dry. And now seated at this table in front of the Countess, our good friend Roger and William.
Raven locks eyes. Raven locks eyes with Roger, and there is tension.
As Roger is just eating the last of the pumpkin pie, just sort of pensively looking back at you, like he doesn't know what's going on. Hanklin?
I have a question. I have
Certainly.
my character thing, my tricks and secrets and whatnot, folk hero. So I'm well known to common folk and fit in easily, and I also can spend a fortune to declare an NPC is an old friend or a relative. I was wondering if I could spend a fortune to say that I've actually helped one of these fae in the past, and I'm seeing them for the first time, to maybe sort of sway this conversation we're about to have in our favor. Like maybe I found them in the woods somewhere and helped them when they were like really weak or injured. I was wondering if that's something that I could do.
That is definitely something you can do. Now tell me, and this is important. Which Fae did you find?
I was hoping, if it's not too game breaking, for me to say I found the Countess herself, or she'd been captured at some point and was like hung up for her like power to wane, and I freed her.
I'm going to roll the happy sad die.
Go for it.
I am not saying no. I'm just saying how she thinks about you rescuing her.
Okay.
That was the sad face.
Oh no. Okay.
And so, yes.
Is this the type of
you
sad where she doesn't like to have like owed debts places, maybe? Or is it like a damn you, sir?
The Fae are a strange and terrible force. And their games are not necessarily understood by mortals. And what you rescued the Countess from was a courtship game. And so, Hanklin, yes, you did rescue her, but in your own way, deprived the Countess of a good match, as it were.
Well, it sounds to me like I'm now her betrothed. It was a courtship game. Pope's face.
We're playing with Fae, and you decided to say things. So, I have got news. You will decide upon whether which this is good or bad. Come with me on this journey, audience. As what does it mean for a mortal to have interrupted something betwixt the Fae as they play their games of matrimony and nobility, to interrupt and insert themselves into such a thing where they would be a Fae's betrothed? What, my good audience, would that mean for an entity that is so alien to dog kind to now feel that they have an obligation to a mortal? And so the Countess, in this moment, recognizes you, Hanklin, and those eyes go from bright and giddy suddenly to cold steel, and the broad "I'm having a good time" smile goes to one of a cold porcelain-like show of "Yes, I am pleased." Well, hello, honored guests. It is so
Hanklin
good of
looks
you.
up. Is he still wet? Can I have a glistening good looks moment where I push back
Sure.
my long fluffy ears, and there's like the little glimmer stars all around. Just like, and he looks up, makes eye contact with his Fae beloved, and a broad smile spreads across his face of genuine happiness. Oh, hey, honey. What a surprise to see you here. He like kind of shakes out his cloak. Voices in the wind.
This is a beautiful and sincere moment that is broken up
For
by
one
the
of us.
sound of... Oh, yes. Roger at this has put down his plate and looks like he is going to quietly ask to be excused. While William responds less subtly, as it is just that sound of screeching knife in fork on fine china. That sort of heaviness that heaviness just cutting the silence as unknowingly William is digging into this fine blueberry tart and just looking on like this is the most interesting thing that has ever happened to him. And the Countess responds, I did not know, beloved, the word dripping with venom, that you had found your way into such august company.
Did you just say dripping with venom? Suddenly concerned about all the liquid all over himself.
That was more a descriptor of how that
okay.
word sound.
I understand now. She wasn't saying that.
Raven in character. Did you just say beloved?
Yeah, this is my honey, my sweetness, the bright shining star in the sky that keeps my hopes and dreams lifted.
Does she know that?
These are all my friends. Yeah, I saved her. It was really beautiful. I would love to tell you that story sometimes, but she gets embarrassed. But yeah, these are all my new friends. This is Raven, Rat Terrier, and Daxi Dachshund, and then Oberyn, Doberman.
Let's go with acquaintance until we know how this is going.
I was presumptuous. I'm sorry, Daxi. I didn't mean to presume at all. No, my bad.
I'm gonna be honest. Context matters right now, and I feel like I'm picking up some cues you're not, but that's okay.
Cues?
She put you in an ice cube.
Plate? She probably. That's just the way we play with each other. It's okay. Hey, buddy,
yeah.
You need help cutting that blueberry tart? I can help you. That's the cue, right, Daxi? That's the cue I'm missing.
Oh, you know this sandwich is so good.
Oberyn just stone-faced, just not moving, just kind of like whale-eyeing back and forth, like, oh no.
Oberyn, I'm going to give you this as your eyes are just starting back and forth. You are the one person at this table that notices, like, Roger is half out of the chair, just looks back at you with those wide rabbit eyes, going from rabbit, we know how rabbits are cute, to hair, which looks like they've all seen eldritch terrors that cannot be spoken of. Those eyes change, and there is sort of a silent scream shared between two entities that know better of what is happening, as he, in one moment, locks eyes with you, and the next moment, he is gone.
That seemed a bit rude.
Oberyn has a paw on the hilt of his sword, but he's not doing anything, but he's just purely out of nerves. He is just reassuring himself.
So,
Alec,
beloved,
sorry.
what precisely is going on in your quest?
That is so sweet of you to ask. Hey, can I come sit next to you? It's been such a long time.
Certainly.
Oh, I go right over and I sit next to her and I pull my seat up a little bit closer and I like pat her paw on the table, just like so thrilled to see her again. Hey, well, this has been just a doozy of an adventure. You would not even believe we had a whole stick festival. I was really hoping to see you there. I can't even tell you how disappointed. There was a stick festival. I brought you a stick, and I pull out the stick that the kids gave me from like the run, and it's like one of the family sticks. It's all carved, and I set it down next to her plate. I brought that just for you. I didn't know when I was gonna see you again, but I wanted you to have this. It is my prized possession at the moment. And well, you know, we got to talk to a pug from the royal pug line. It was amazing. I can't even believe I stayed in his house and we had such good food. I was thinking the whole time that they'd be great for your parties. And yeah, now we're out looking for a bog hag, a bog witch. Very scary stuff. I'm terrified. I'm frightened. It's unrealistic how frightened I am, but it will be all okay in the end because I have these strong compatriots with me. And after that, we're gonna go after some sort of artifact, but I'm just really not familiar with if we should do that or not. I would love your input, of course.
There is a journey that takes place on this phase face. So the hand gets pat, the paw, and there is just, Hanklin does not notice this, but there is a flash of the eyes widening in a rage that only the privileged show. It is the rage of being besmirched, of someone who has no business with that level of familiarity touching them.
Oh no.
And then just this war going on between the facade and the monster, deciding, like, how best do I flay these individuals for their insolence? And then the word artifact is said. And that one word changes the countenance of their features in an instant. From one of plotting the most horrific demise to pure curiosity. And this entity, the best way I can always describe Fae to folks, I want you to keep this in mind. Think of a toddler with the power of a god. and you have an idea of what a fae is. And so this toddler that plays at being a person with the powers of a god is keenly interested in what this artifact is. And instinctually, as though she can smell magic and knowledge, her eyes immediately lock with Daxi's.
Oh no.
Like a shark, a seal.
Can I describe what
And-
Daxi's doing when this eye lock happens?
Yes, please.
Okay. Because Daxi has been listening to what's happening, and as Hanklin has kept talking Daxi's fashion, like so the like that 3-tier tray that was full of finger sandwiches, Daxi has kind of like unloaded it from the finger sandwiches and reloaded it with like quiches and things, like making herself a nice little to-go tray, as it were. And then she hears the word artifact and then looks slightly like looking to Hanklin, slightly panic is the intent, and then feels the stare of the Fae, and it's just like, oh boy. You know, this was such a lovely your food the food preparation here is so great, and it's just so great. I think we should go tell the rest of the doggos about it, because it'd be a shame to not share knowledge of it. So yeah, and it's just, you know, everybody, I think I might need help with my to-go tray here. If that's okay, I'm going to assume it's okay. I think we should just go, because you've been a
By
lovely
all
host.
means, I would love to help you. As she looks right in your eyes. But please tell me, so I can help you properly, about this artifact.
I mean, you know, it's stories we heard. Really, we won't really know if it's what was mentioned until we go to the witch. So it'd be better to check in with us after that visit. I don't have much to give you now, honestly.
Oh, you want me to check in with you later?
Oh,
There's a smile and an edge of menace.
I wouldn't presume to tell you what to do.
There is
What?
silence
I'm
and the
confused.
smile widens.
Hanklin, please. Just...
Oh.
2 seconds, Hanklin.
Of course.
So, I can wait and check in with you later about this artifact. Or you can tell me about it now.
I can only tell you what I've heard. How accurate that is to this artifact, won't know till it's discovered. You understand?
Perfectly.
Okay, let's see. How do we lie with the truth about this? How do we do that? I because we're
Meanwhile,
sorry,
as-
yeah yeah, okay, no, go ahead.
as Doxy is going through that her now sugar-powered mind trying to dig some sort of social tunnel out from underneath this avalanche. William, our dormouse, has now almost like being infected by what Daxi has left behind as her mind is going internally working a mile a minute, is just grabbed every single tea cake, every gumdrop, large pot of tea, and at a speed like if you were all of a sudden just took the YouTube video and put it on 2 times play, is moving and consuming, just like enraptured by the torture, torment, and peril that is going on before this young fae. Like, this is a lesson in how to deal with mortals, and it is the most delightful thing I have ever seen in my entire unnatural existence. And the Countess just sits there in a posture perfect, unnatural, not relaxed, just waiting in that pregnant silence outside the unnatural consumption of her tiny ward, sat before all these mortals. And in the distance, from the camera edge where we see this table, we can just barely see Roger leaping over trees, trying to get as far away from here as earthly possible. And so in that moment, Daxi, what are you concocting?
Okay, and I imagine this is going to be a blend of no arcana and bluff checks for this, because
That sounds delightful.
a straight up lie isn't going to cut it. But all of the truth is arguably worse. So that's I was actually scrolling back to my session windows to see just like, all right, what did I note down about this, and how do I spend this? Let's see. I can special library. Okay. Oh, I know what I would be tempted to do, but we're live, so that would be really messy. Because I know what I've written down from what you said in that in session 1, and Daxi's notes on it from her Arcana roll. But what I'd be tempted to do to try and like tell the truth but lie is go off somebody else's notes. It's like, what did somebody else write down? Because Daxi wrote down more than what somebody else is gonna note. But I don't know how to figure that out. Let's see. What's my spell list? I can do this. We got this. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Hang on.
So,
there's no harm boss can say.
As Daxi is racking her mind, Raven, what's going on in your mind and physicality in this moment?
So Raven was originally focused on Hanklin frozen in horror as he ran his mouth continually. The one thing you're not supposed to do in the presence of Fae. And the second the Fae's attention fixated on Daxi, so did Raven's. And she's just pleading with her eyes for Daxi to tell some permutation of the, like, if anybody's gonna fix this, Daxi's gonna fix it. It's gotta be Daxi. She can do nothing. She feels utterly and completely helpless. She knows that even if she goes for her sword, she'll likely be struck down before it's even all the way off her back. She's been, like, recessing slowly into her armor. Like
Daxi, you got something?
Yes. Okay. Because I see Hanklin's notes in there, and all right, I got it. Well, the artifact is from the I think I heard it was from the Dark Ages, and one thing that that's kind of been consistent throughout time of the different stories I've heard is that it inspires fear in people. I don't know if there's like a particular range, but like fear and just leaving so many like young dogs, old dogs, it doesn't matter, leaving them afraid of what it will do. How it was sealed, how it was lost, how it was stolen, that's all up in the air. But one thing that's been consistent is fear, and I don't and I we do not know how to find it. What else? It is well, I'd say it's shiny, but with how old it is, unless someone shined it up, I think it is made out of something shiny. That I can say.
I feel like rolling a d20 and her modifiers is unfair. So I'm just going to roll the happy sad die instead.
Oh no.
You're gonna say it's sad, aren't you? Say it's sad. I'm gonna be really sad. Don't do that to me today. Please don't do this to me.
So it's a terrifying artifact that you're questing after. A thing ancient and feared. That's so wonderful. I think I
Honey
will
always
help
had
you
an
out.
interesting opinion on what's wonderful and what's not.
Making the cutting noise.
There is this look of "I will destroy you later" that comes across her face and looks
He
towards
just
Hanklin.
sincere smiles back.
And she then just, the eyes go to meet the rest of the party. And so you quest for more answers to go and see Sari, the Oracle.
Yes.
I will help you. I look forward to the consequences of your actions and what she has to say to you all. We'll meet again before it's done. Take care and give the old Oracle my best. Her jaw clenches, and one paw languidly rises from the table and just snaps her fingers. And that's where we're going to take our break, folks.
Ah!
Jesus!
As we will return with more Pugmire, What Lies Buried. Go get a snack. Get something heavy to eat. Fill up those glasses. We're in for a long haul here, folks. Take care.
Oh no.
See you soon. Hello, wonderful people, and welcome back to more Pugmire, What Lies Buried. Just want to remind you that you all are able to support us in what we are doing here over at Weave the Tale through a number of ways, where it's through a Patreon, where it's through retweeting, helping to publicize what we're doing here on the channel, and through your wonderful, wonderful donations and subs. We have, well, I personally have a sub goal for this month of 200 subs for the channel, which if we get to meet that, I will try and put together a magnificent campaign of worldwide wrestling here on Weave. So if you want to see the sort of madness that can be unleashed by me indulging my inner fanboy and assembling a large group of wrestling fans together to tell some amazing stories, do hit us up with your subs. Also, if you sub now, you get to affect this narrative through boons and banes. We are, last I checked, around 172 subs so far for the month. So if we get 38 more subs by this Thursday, that will happen. Now, with that said, a little quick recap of what's going on. Our good doggos have been impeded by a fae. One which we have come to learn is betrothed to Hanklin due to his most noble and heroic actions, however misinformed they may be. And there was a tense negotiation going on between our good doggos and a fae simply known as the Countess. And after discussions of artifacts and quests, she agreed to help them along their way. And right as we left off, one languid paw raised, and her fingers snapped. And we now find ourselves in an entirely different locale. The smell is slightly acidic. There's also the specific scent of decay and the burning of wood wafting through the air. As we find ourselves in a place far more filled with sounds of insects, of life, than we did in a delightful garden party. It is moist. The humidity is dense here. The air almost dragging against fur. And we find ourselves outside a different house. Not one made of plastic, but a very simple wooden home. Set upon a hill where it can see, and so do our heroes, a vast bog jutting out from pits. There are, it looks like pieces of wood, bleached in the sun's rays, almost to look like the shade of bone, dotting across the landscape. Again, the buzzing of many insects hanging in the air, and the sense that within those waters teem all sorts of life, small to immense, and all of it just wanting to gnaw, tear, drain, whatever crosses their path. And as our heroes take in this new sight and these new smells, we hear the creak of a door. The distant sound of pleasantries being exchanged between two old friends. And then a curious small figure spies our good dogs. And in a very simple black cloak and the garb of a traveler, walking assisted by a cane down the hill, comes a short, stout fellow, face obscured in the darkness of a hood.
Well, I didn't expect that Sari had more visitors. What brings the lot of you out here to the Borg on such a day as this?
Oh, my wife
Catch
sent
got
me.
your tongues?
No, well, you're not my
Yo.
wife. Well, that was a bit presumptuous. My fiance sent me. You know, she's real helpful like that. She knew where we needed to go, and she just aided us along our way. Isn't she nice? Don't you guys like her?
Daxi is just glaring at Hanklin.
We're looking for a person here. Are you familiar with this bog? Maybe you can help us find our new friend.
Well, I am familiar with the Borg. I was just leaving a friend. Who is it that you all seek?
I think you said her name, actually. Sari. I think that's her.
Oh,
She dropped us right outside her door. Great.
And again, you don't see the face, but you can hear sniffing.
Have the scent of the Countess upon you all. Terrible business.
Oh, hey. What'd you just say about the Countess?
Fae rarely do anything except out of self-interest.
That
And the
seems
Countess
a
has
little
a...
extreme.
There's your cloaked acquaintance sort of uses at Hanklin. Still, it seems the darkness of his hood clings to his features, obscuring them.
So, the Countess sent you here to see the Oracle. That seems quite peculiar. What? I am more curious than I mean to pry. But what are you all doing here?
Hanklin turns to
We,
look at their friends. Like, are we really gonna tell this old guy what our business is? Like, he's not very nice to my betrothed here. Just like,
My wife.
he looks skeptical.
Now you're concerned about telling people things. No, it's not.
Yeah, literally, that thought.
Yeah. Sir, you'll
Can
have
I
to
do like
excuse
a?
us. It's been...
I'm sorry. I was just gonna. Can I sense motive? Like try to get
Yeah,
a
go
feel
it.
for why he's asking.
Sure. He's concerned about an old dear friend and what a bunch of strange dogs are doing on her doorstep. Especially ones
fair
that have
enough.
the scent of Fae about them.
Sir, you'll have to forgive us. We had already intended on coming out this way and were unfortunately waylaid by said Fae. I think she'd finally had her fill of us and decided to make up for the time that she cost us, maybe?
That doesn't sound like her, but I guess stranger things have occurred.
I can assure you that our intentions are nothing but, well, to figure out... We're... Harrison Pug, you probably know him.
Why has my nephew, in man's name, sent you all the way out here?
Some manner of... He's looking for something, and we don't know where it is, and so we need the Oracle to tell us where to go to find it.
Oh, good heavens, good heavens. I see. Well, he is of noble intent, but his methodologies still leave much to be desired. I apologize for my nephew sending you all the way out here and getting you accosted by the Countess. You have my most sincere apologies. I best not stand in your way any further. But do be careful, and once you are back near Pugmire's hallowed halls, I should be back visiting family then. And if you need a second opinion, I'll be happy to give it to you. Name's Mara. I will see you hopefully sooner than later.
Thank you, sir.
And the old pug wanders off.
I wait until he's out of earshot, and then I look at Hanklin. Sorry, go ahead.
He said that that was our oh gosh, what's his name? The person we're working for, the pug, Harrison.
Harrison. Yeah.
Harrison. Did he say he's Harrison's uncle?
Yeah.
He implied that. Yeah.
He implied that. Isn't Harrison the nephew to the king? Did we just run into the king?
Wait.
You ran.
What?
Wait.
You ran into the prince.
Okay.
Not the king,
Okay.
but his brother.
Okay.
One of his
that's
brothers.
Fine. We just,
If someone wants to roll me a no history, someone wants to roll me no history, we can get
Is
more
this
on
something I
Nora.
could have read about?
Possibly.
I was gonna try to invoke that on this one, too.
$19 is my highest.
Well, we'll go with Daxi, and then I'll fill in the blanks that for both Hanklin and then what Raven knows. Daxi, yes, that was the prince. He is the current eldest of the House of Pug. He should have been king, but he said it wasn't in his disposition to rule, and so it fell to his younger brother. That's what you know. Hanklin, you know that Murrah is known as a wanderer. He likes to travel the world, and is probably the noble family's greatest diplomat, as he has a friendly demeanor and and always has a calm and level head about things. Raven, you know that he is possibly the House of Pug's greatest artisan in the entire lineage. He is a magician par excellence, and very much holds to the old trope of beware the old man in professions that claim the young. And as a diplomat and artisan, he is very old.
So the second he's out of earshot, Raven turns to Hanklin. You see how I told him what we were doing without dropping the fact that we're looking for an artifact?
Yeah? Wait,
Maybe don't tell. I don't care.
The Countess? I'm sorry, are you all mad because I told the Countess what was going on?
I'm not mad. I'm just a little concerned.
I'll put it to you this way, Hanklin. I'm not hungry right now.
Hanklin's tail and ears just like get all small and back. And he's like, oh, I thought that it would be okay since she's my betrothed, but I didn't mean to make anyone uncomfortable or nothing or ruin appetites. That was not my intention.
Oh.
I'll shut my trap and I'll let y'all do the talking for the rest of our adventure.
If you don't talk, you can't learn, and I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
It's worse. You see how that's worse, right? That's
the point.
Okay.
I'm gonna tack on a side of terrified to that. Kind of bloody terrified for my whole life a little bit. Just saying.
Oh. I don't think she would hurt you.
Oh, there's things that are so much worse than physically hurting a person, Hanklin. You have no idea.
Hanklin gets quiet and looks down. I have some idea.
Making me feel bad. That was out of character. You're making me feel real bad for this right now. Coming from my whole neck.
Hanklin has like an audible swallow and then squares his big old broad shoulders. Should we continue on?
Yeah.
Yes, we should.
He just gestures everyone forward.
You
Daxi will
approach
pat
this-
Hanklin's shoulder at the very least. Or, I guess, leg. Whatever Daxi can reach on Hanklin, honestly.
Yeah.
You approach this very simple wooden building out in the bog of bones upon this quiet hill. As you get closer, you notice the more curious this simple building appears. It doesn't seem to be flush with the earth. The lips of the bottom of this building are just ever so slightly off the ground. And there are a lot of just little accoutrements hanging from the wood. Small nails, birds' feathers, small mice skulls, little woven patterns on small wood frames. And as you finally approach the door, a wooden wind chime finally clangs. As you come forth to this wooden, windowless hut. What do you all do? With the impact of your paw upon ancient wood, the door creaks open. Orange light from a fire pours out to fill the space.
At least this place is a bit more forthcoming about its ominousness.
Oh, ominous. Has very little to do with it, dear.
You can hear me.
Come in.
I'm sorry. I hope I didn't offend you. Hi, hello.
Oh, we rarely, if ever, get offended.
Good. Because I think we offended other people today. I don't want to tally up more on that.
Oh, young pups, you have very little to worry about.
What was that third one? Okay, it's fine.
I gotta be honest, I didn't like the way you said any of that. None of it. No.
It's just our nature.
Cool. So, you must be Siri. Harrison sent us to see what you know about what was this thing called? I don't remember. Daxi, what was it called?
What was the artifact called?
Yeah, that thing.
The artifact was the Great Compass.
Oh yeah, the compass for the finding of the things. Yes. Makes sense.
Well, come in, dearies, and we will see what fates have in store for you all.
Okay.
I mean, if I'm gonna be the first one, if I'm gonna be the first one for all this, I might as well, you know. Oh man, this is a lot today. And she kind of like creaks the door open a little more and kind of.
And you gradually, one after another, come into this small hut. And your sense of depth and breadth are a bit askew, as this place has an unnatural nature to it. But inside, it is simply but well appointed. Take the aesthetics of a grandmother, and then just ever so slightly make them goth. And you have a good idea of what the interior of this place is. Black lace, bone white wooden tables, chairs, bird skulls everywhere, and sitting in a large rocking chair, red velvet backed, in a black lace shawl, rocking back and forth, is a very large, three-headed wolfhound. Gray fur, dotted with ever so bits of the youthful black in her coat. One, the central one, whose eyes are still bright and youthful. One whose eyes have gone the milky white of cataracts. And another whose eyes do not open, the head hanging lazily like it's daydreaming. It sits there in front of a table that surprisingly has 4 very comfy chairs sitting in front of it. A bowl filled with those little strawberry candies sits in the middle. And she beckons you to come in and sit down. I'll do.
Raven is like standing at the full of her 4 feet, as tall as possible, as she steps into the room and then sits down, still sitting as tall as possible. Her legs don't reach the floor.
Fair. Obbs, what are you doing?
I think I don't want to say that he's necessarily taken aback, but he's probably extremely cautious for at least a few seconds. But once Raven, just kind of following her cue, like, okay, if she's okay with this. And he'll also just kind of go up and sit down in the chair and also kind of, be watching his posture. So, big awkward giraffe neck.
Daxi, what are you doing?
Daxi, comes in and everything, but it's just kind of standing, not looking unfriendly, but she's not sitting down for this.
Hanklin?
Hanklin believes that everyone has their own personal style and is not faced by this house. But he's a little still cowed from before. So he walks in, tips his head very politely to her, and I'll just sit here. Here, okay? And then take his seat. But in his mind he's like, if the prince likes this lady, she's probably fine. We're good. No concerns here.
And Hanklin, as you take a seat, the door closes on its own.
That is a real neat trick.
Petty magics, but we do love our tricks. Helps keep the body and the mind young. Is there anything I can get you, dearie? Some soup? Candies? Nuts? Or is it all business with the four of you?
Oh, I'm not hungry, but thank you.
And the cataract one, see, I told you they wouldn't be hungry. Shush you.
Well, I mean, not to disagree with one of you, but my pappy always did say that if you have a meal with someone, put you on the right paw with them.
All right. I feel we can give these young ones a few morsels to dine on. The languid head rises. And
only
one...
if it's not trouble.
No trouble. No trouble. No trouble. And a paw just languidly curls, its digits longer than any paw that you've seen, closer to a human hand.
Oh! Yeesh.
Just curls, gnawed claws, dragging at the air. And there is a rustling as a bunch of small skeletal mice come clattering through and put small little bowls of stew at each of your table settings. The two skeletal mice for each of you dragging a well-worn wooden spoon to put in front of the bowl before all these skeletal mice scurry off.
Thank you.
The languid head goes back to resting. So you seek information on the compass. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Oh yeah, that's correct. There's the voice. Okay.
Well, let us see what an old artifact of man has to say about the fortunes of the compass. And a set of paws more accustomed to yours emerge from the shawl. lower down on the torso and produce a deck of cards. Well, let's see what fate has to say. And they gradually begin setting out the cards. Well, that is most unpleasant. As she peers down upon the cards that she has played. The item you seek in this case is referred to as the peacock, at least in the time of our fortune. The peacock represents an individual or item that can bring about great wisdom, prosperity, but at a terrible cost. Its recent past, those that have been forgotten but is quite tied to, is the fiend. A great, pernicious, strong evil is tied to this artifact. One that will consume greedily and without stop or satiating. Its current state, its modern day fate, is the eclipse. It denotes a time of upheaval, as great many things change. Should you pursue this, it will denote a changing of the era. In near future, she almost smiles. The mute hag. You will find someone else upon your path, not myself. Possibly the evil that guards this artifact will seek to make a deal, one that will be to the group's benefit, but of dire consequence to the individual who agrees to the terms. And clarity on your quest, the complication, as it were. The liar. It is not as obvious as the card seems. There is someone, or someones, known to you, or one of you, who is already compromised by this artifact. One that seeks to entrap, enslave, ensnare, and dominate with its power and the power of the artifact, and what it may do with such power and promise. This is what fate has dealt me. Do you have further questions?
I've got one. Oh, what does that all mean? It just seemed really cryptic. I'm wondering if you can be a mite more specific. He catches
The
like the
cataract
look on
head.
Raven's face. Should I not have asked that? Was that not okay?
The cataract head just pops up. Oracles are not known for clarity. Oracles are known for setting heroes upon a path. A path, path, path. And that path is fluid. The actions of even the slightest can tangle the threads of fate. Change a slight thing and a slight outcome. What this reading is a forecast, the weather that you may face. But through your actions, you can change fate or snarl it further.
Yeah, what they said.
Well, I'm glad I'm with y'all because I understood little to none of that.
It's just things for us to watch out for. You know? Things for us to be aware of and think about going forward. Because we can still make it out of this. It'll all be in our favor, in the favor of everyone in Pugmire if we play our cards right.
That's
A
true.
crooked smile. A crooked smile appears on Ciri's faces. So aside from the obvious question, any others from the lot of you?
So when you say that there's somebody known to us that might already be compromised by the artifact and the potential of its power, it could be anyone we know or have met, even people we don't think are involved in all of this.
We will see what the cards have to say. The ones that could possibly be compromised. There are 3 to be aware of. They may not be. It depends on the actions taken by you and taken by them. Foreign trader. An outside force. One that seeks to maintain the status quo. They only seek power, one that can be consolidated. But they wear a noble face. The desert reversed. The desert usually denotes wisdom. But in this case, it denotes someone who may not appear to have common sense. an individual who acts rashly, one whose actions are noble, but will end in ruination for many. And last, the Rabbit Prince. Someone not necessarily of noble birth, but of noble standing. One who is looked upon as a leader or a very close friend. One who seeks to protect, but whose actions entrap themselves in danger, and possibly danger for those that they love and care most for. These are the three that you must be aware of. Any further questions?
I don't like the sound of that.
No, it sounds bad. Doesn't it sound bad? I just listen to what she's saying and I think of every single person that, they could be talking about. And, it's all bad.
Well, life's a balance, isn't it? Can't all be good. You have to deal with bad stuff sometimes too. There's no two ways around it. At least this way we know. Kind of.
Kind of. Yeah. Yeah. It's a good way of looking at it, I suppose. Well, thank you for your ominous message. Is there anything else you have for us, or perhaps something you would like in exchange for this reading?
Given those that are already deeply interested in the outcomes of your quest, we have ways of extracting benefit from those who have already sent you.
So Harrison's picking up the tab is what I'm choosing to hear.
That's also what I'm hearing.
That tracks.
Sounds about right.
Well, thank you, Your Highnesses. If that is all, I know that I don't want to take up much more of your time. Well, what about you all?
Oh yeah, I've had enough of I've had enough threatening noise of people who are well versed in magic talking to us. Yeah, I'm good for the day.
Oberyn just kind of looks around and then kind of looks at the bowl of soup that was presented in front of him, and out of pure politeness, since he was given food, he takes a spoon and he does go ahead and dip and take one bite of the soup and kind of nod in appreciation.
Oberyn, it's a strange sensation.
Oh.
This soup.
it how do I put this? It tastes incredible, but it's very much like classic Iron Chef, except that the secret ingredient, the key ingredient that the battle was done upon, was something deeply unpleasant. So you are eating possibly the highest form of homemade cuisine. This delectable stew, but with all of its like truffles, potatoes, carrots, these savory and delectable notes, these things that fill your mouth. It is that astringent sensation of persimmon, if you've ever eaten it. It is a fruit that by its very nature seeks to rob you of taste, sensation, and moisture. It almost desiccates you from the inside. And so it is this delicious soup, absolutely delectable, but it almost hungers for your life force as you eat it.
Yeah, he does the one spoonful, and that's it. He just again, he just kind of like nods in appreciation and sets the spoon back down on the side.
Raven's like, oh yeah, soup.
Oh, Raven, no.
Never had anything like that. Yeah. Thanks.
There is an awkwardness that hangs in the air. And the silence is only broken by the distinct sound of arrows impacting wood.
Raven is out of that chair.
Oberyn too.
What? That sounds like a distraction. So sorry, gotta go.
And so it sounds like at least 3 of you are making your way for the door, if not all of you. And as you just creak the door open, you see that there are 4.
Hanklin, you were trying to say something? You were muted. Go ahead, you sure? Okay.
As you creak the door open, you see the impact of 4 arrows. And to the side of you, at the edge of sight, you can just see the tops of the heads of 3 rat men. As they seem to be wary, but intent on firing upon yet again this house as they come nearer and nearer. The three each have a torch in hand and a crossbow in the other. What do you all do?
You said there were 4 arrows in the door?
Yes.
I think there's one more out there. I think maybe these 3 are trying to provide a distraction. Somebody needs to find the one we can't see.
The one we can't see, you say? Sounds like it's time for, well... Okay, when we say can't see, do we think they're just, sorry, in character. So when you say we can't see, do you think they're just out of sight, or are they, like, invisible?
No telling. No telling. Could be either one. He could be circling around the back. He could be in the front and just enshadowed.
Okay. Okay. I think I got something for this. And Daxi's gonna cast spell. We're gonna do a good old faithful canine, which I will read out that description for the benefit of the audience. As soon as I find where I put it, because I scrolled away from that page for some reason. Don't ask me why. I don't know how to do things. Faithful canine. That I can definitely spell right. There we go. You conjure a phantom canine in an unoccupied space you can see within range, where it remains for the duration until you dismiss it as an action or until you move more than 100 feet away from it. The canine is invisible to all characters except you and can't be harmed. When a character comes within 30 feet of it without first speaking the password that you specify when you cast this spell, the canine starts barking loudly. The canine sees invisible characters, the unseen, and it sees through illusions. At the start of each of your turns, the canine attempts to bite one character within 5 feet of you that is hostile to you. Canine's attack bonus is equal to your spellcasting ability modifier plus your proficiency bonus. On a hit, it deals 4d8 piercing damage. So, don't mess with
That's
me.
awesome.
Oh, okay. Where are you positioning this most helpful and dire of canines?
Yeah, so I imagine the dog's gonna be kind of like, because Daxi's worried about them like kind of circling around to the back, so like a little kind of position behind the party is like a lookout that way, because assuming we should be able to see people in front of us. That's so it's gonna be positioned behind us, looking out for that.
And go ahead and roll an attack for me.
Okay, this is gonna be awesome. 48.
Was that right? I think I was right.
I think you were. 26.
I mean, they're crossbows. There's no way one of them reloaded and shot again.
Fair point.
It just hits, or do you actually have to make a spell attack?
Oh, I'm sorry. It does. Canine's attack is equal. Oh, I was right. My bad. I do need to make an attack with the attack thing. Okay, so it's modifier proficiency, so that's going to be a 3 plus what's my spellcasting modifier? So okay, so this. Actually, we'll roll it this way. I think that's 24 to hit.
That hits. And there is what is heard is there is this growl followed by like 2 loud barks, and Then there is a ear-piercing scream that is followed by a distinctive squelching noise of teeth rending flesh. And then there is the sound of language being spoken that you do not understand between the four of you. And Raven, I will give you this for free. Those rats that you can barely see the heads of and you see the light of the torches are all of a sudden running away at very quick speed.
I think they don't like that we found them out.
And then there's a different noise. As more distant, there is a roar. A very rat-like roar. Something that shakes the wood of the hut, vibrates the still waters, the bog. And that is where we're going to end today's episode, folks.
Oh my fucking god, no!
Oh, good. oh, great. Fantastic. I'm so happy.
Aha, we won! Take that, you little rats! Oh no, there's a bigger rat. There's always a bigger rat.
Oh.
The beautiful thing is, when faced with such potent heroes, there is a spell that every storyteller can use. It's called Summon Bigger Threat.
Oh.
And I highly suggest it to every single storyteller out there. And with that, folks, it is always a joy to be here with these good dogs and tell this delightful story. And the most important thing we can do right now is to find out where you can follow these wonderful people and what they are up to. So, first, good friend Celeste, where can we find you? What are you up to?
Oh boy. We found the giant boss rat who makes all of the rules, guys. Let's see what kind of trouble we can get ourselves into. Hi, I'm Celeste PLS with way too many underscores on Twitter. I'm Celeste Shepard here on Twitch. I don't do a whole lot of streaming of my own, but you can catch me on other people's channels sometimes. I, other than this now, all of a sudden don't really have anything else going on. So hey, anybody's looking for a player, here I am. If I can fit it into my schedule, I'm happy to play with just about anybody. The biggest thing that I have to plug right now is Tales to Inspire. Our good friends over at the Misconceptions Network, they're putting together a altered history podcast with superhero flavoring. And they are slowly, as the weeks progress toward our release day, they are slowly rolling out the art for each of the characters in the first season. And that's happening. I'm not certain if they're posting it on Twitter, but they're definitely putting it over on their Discord, their community Discord. So Misconceptions Pod, I think, is the Twitter handle. Definitely go check them out. I believe the release date is at the beginning of May. That's the release date. And for patrons, if you have some money to spare to throw at these amazing people, there is the session zeros for each of the characters are already up and available for patrons, including the giant size issues. So lots of good content on these heroes, getting a real good chance to get to know them before we launch into season 1. And that will be happening at the beginning of each season. And I'm super excited about that. I cannot, unfortunately, tell you which seasons I'm going to be in. That is a surprise. That is something we have to keep under our hats. But I can tell you that I will be in several of the seasons, and I cannot wait to get a chance to record with these people. They are amazing people, and they have made amazing products. If you just can't wait to see what these people are capable of, Misconceptions has 2 other podcasts. The one that the network was named for, Misconceptions, which is out in its entirety and has concluded. So if you need something to binge, there it is. It's a City of Mist actual play. And then Sins of the Father, which is a D&D 5e little losing words are hard. The main characters, the party, are all children that are looking for their missing fathers. Super cool, super interesting, super wholesome and heartwarming. Rickett is just the best. Rickett is my entire life. I love that character so much. So yeah, go check them out, and I'm so excited to be involved with them soon. Yeah, that's really all I got going on right now. I'll be right back here next week and maybe take down a giant rat? I don't know, man. I'm scared.
Well, someone who is rarely scared in the face of danger and complications, always a cool head, it's Daxi Dachshund, played by Alicia. Where are you and what are you up to, friend?
Oh, hey, that's me. I am Alicia, or Petty Energy, over on Twitch, where Sunday night, so tonight, I play games with some pals. Sometimes we do readings of visual novels. Sometimes it takes a ride. Who knows? Tune in to find out. That'll be over about an hour and a half over on my channel. Again, Petty Energy. You can find me over on my Twitter channel at NNG98, because what's brand consistency? I tweet random things. Sometimes it's snake pictures. Sometimes it's puns. Who knows? Did I not pun today? It must have been the disappointment. Which was today's password, by the way. Oh, but no, that was a place to speak. Oh no! That's where you can find me. I've been in other places. We're good.
Arrow to the heart, someone who always just brings emotion and stabbings and near tears to my eyes is M. How are you doing, friend? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
Such a description. I'm M, otherwise known as Anthrama, around on the internet. I am 1/4 of the Level 1 Geek team, where we do actual plays all week long on our channel Level 1 Geek here on Twitch. And we also release content on our website, our blog, where we help people get into this wonderful hobby of TTRPGs. I'm currently working on an article that will be about like how to make your first character, and the advice that I've gathered from like 30 GMs on what goes into like making your first character and what you should focus on. It's going to be really cool. Very excited for it. But you can find me here on Sunday. Mondays, I DM for my channel. On Tuesdays, I will be running tech for our Starfinder campaign, so come chit chat with me. On Wednesdays, I either do Geek Outs, where we talk about geeky things, or I play like random indie games, because we got to uplift those indie creators. And then I'm also working on a project for Tales by the Tavern Fire, where I am recording with an audio drama where you can bring your like characters' backstories in, and they'll make a short audio drama out of it. So I'm doing some background voices for that, and it's really fun. So hit me up if that's something you're interested in, because I can put you in touch with them.
That sounds amazing. Definitely follow M at Level 1 Geek for all that amazing content and opportunities. Also, definitely looking forward to that article, because that sort of advice is stuff that unfortunately really doesn't get printed, and that's sort of the stuff that you want in a core book, because that's the guidance that new folks to the hobby really need. So, hey, publishers, I know some of you watch. Hire M. Put that stuff into your games. It's important. Someone who always brings levels of import and forethought is Drakku. How are you doing, friend? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
Hey, that's me, Drakku. You can find me most places on the internet at Drakku, except for on Twitch, where I'm Drakku3690, because somebody took it from me. But I am a variety streamer. I've been slowly getting my schedule under wraps, and just as I did so, work is deciding to move my schedule around. So still don't have a set schedule for when I'm streaming, but that's kind of my life. If you want to catch me playing more TTRPGs, obviously, this wonderful game here on Weave the Tale on Sundays, playing as a good doggo with all the other good doggos, which is so much fun and definitely a highlight to my weekend. You can catch me playing Kula the Kobold on Rule of Lore with our dragon Waterdeep Dragon Heist campaign. We call it Deep, so I can't remember what the actual campaign is called. We call it In Too Deep, so it's just Deep. And you can also, if you want to listen to me play TTRPGs, we have a podcast, DN Disaster Story, which you can find DN Disaster Story on Twitter. We have 14 episodes out, and we are all a bunch of characters who took intelligence as their dump stat, so it is chaotic and fun and a good time. And that's me.
Awesome. Also good. Again, folks, if there's nothing that we have learned in the past 2 years, it's important to have good people in your life, whether it is on your social media or directly. And these are all good people. I highly suggest following them. And when you need that moment to just kick back, relax, be a part of a positive community, these are the people to find. So seek them out. If you are interested in seeing more of my ridiculous face, you get a number of opportunities throughout the week. Coming up next is this Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern over on Follow Black Cats. We are doing a special one-shot of the spy game Hexcrawl. Susanna Grace will be in the storyteller's seat for this one, as we are guided through with our disaster spies on something that I have not been briefed on, deliberately so. I tend to plan ahead and throw wrenches and things, so I am not allowed. But I am certain between myself, Lynn of Gremlin Art, and the Noir Enigma, we are going to cause Susie no end of strife and chaos. And all of that is for a very important charity, which I am going to plug right now, which is Roll vs. Evil. It is helped sponsored by Modifius and new nonprofit that they're putting together to right now raise funds for Ukrainian relief, which is very important as we speak. But also they have earmarked stuff for raising charity for LGBTQIA+ charities and other things as life goes on. Because, well, let's just face facts, folks. The world's gotten a lot darker. And where once we thought it was just, the unfortunate of modern life, we seem to have all fallen under the curse of may you live in interesting times. And with that curse is a responsibility to help one another. And so please, if you can, tune in on Wednesday. If not, promote, give, help out whenever and wherever you can. If you still want to find my ridiculous face, you can see me over on Critical Misses Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, for more Masks Advanced Studies. Our young university-age heroes have found themselves in a series of trans-dimensional and multi-dimensional and timey-wimey pickles, some of which they may have inadvertently caused because time works strangely. Also of important note for those of you who may have been following myself and Celeste in some other escapades, the House of Secrets is where they are currently found. They just walked in, the door closed behind them, and, well, they may be in for a bad time. So if you want to see how that wraps up, tune in 8 p.m. Eastern this Thursday over on Critical Misses. Then Saturdays, it's just an apocalyptic time at 9 p.m. Eastern over on Valdrin's channel for Defiant: The Trail of the Dead. My reformed devil, who is trying to live the most human and simple of lives, keeps getting phone calls on their clamshell cell from anybody and everybody, as he's just trying to get from one place to another, but keeps getting assaulted by, giant flaming trees, dogs made of glass. It's a bad time. So if you just want to see me suffer, tune in for that on Saturday, 9 p.m. And then be back here Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern on Weave the Tale for more of our good doggos. And one last plug, not for here in Weave, though. We thank you for being here. And as the season wraps up, there's tons of good story to tune into. So please check the schedule. Follow Weave the Tale's Twitter for more of that good, chunky story goodness. But for tonight, I have a big suggestion. I strongly, emphatically suggest checking out Praxagora Thesmophoria's channel. I know that is a lot of words and a lot of fancy letters. If you have a hard time spelling, like yours truly, follow my Twitter. I will be retweeting this stuff all day, as she and her cast of The Witcher, which has been an absolute fantastic time. It is an all-star cast, in my opinion, featuring the likes of Trooper SJP, Simon of Wandering Society, Laugh Love Lindy, and when we can get him, Bill of the Forest. They're all an absolutely amazing cast with Prax at the helm. And tonight they are raising funds for Roll versus Evil. Also, I hear a rumor that there might be some giveaways of R. Talsorian stuff. So if you didn't have enough of an incentive, tune in for that, as there are likely giveaways of a number of delicious PDFs, like one that Simon just finished writing on, which is, I believe, the Book of Chaos for Witcher. So if you like spell casting and you enjoy Witcher, definitely look out for that. So tune in for that. I believe that is at 7 p.m. Eastern over on Praxagora Thesmophoria's channel. And I know you were probably tired of hearing me plug charity stuff, but there is always room to help. And it's corny, but it's true. And as a child of comic books, with great power comes great responsibility. And so with what financial power and time we have a responsibility to one another to help. And with that, I want to say thank you all for being here. We're live, VOD, YouTube, wherever you are. Story is nothing without its audience here. Much part of this is we are. Thank you all so much. Take care of yourselves and one another, and we'll see you soon.